Good to go.
Okay. So these are your thermostat and HRV main control. So these are independent of each other. So the HRV is the unit in the basement that you'll see on the other video with the filter, but it's basically the heat recovery ventilation system. It only runs through the bathrooms. Okay, so when you're running it, it draws air from the bathrooms, but it also ventilates air throughout the house. So that's why it's got this extra control here. In the bathrooms, it's just a standard 20-minute, 40-minute, 60-minute timer switch. And the nice thing is you turn one bathroom on, all the bathrooms turn on. It's a closed system, so they all work together. So if you have family and friends over, you can turn yours on if you want them to use in the other rooms.
Nice.
Now, this one has a few extra features, so I'll go through it with you. First off, this is what it looks like on. That's off, real simple. This button here is the fan speed. So inside the unit, there's a fan. It can go up to 5, down to 0. It's just the speed of the fan inside of the unit. I always recommend 5, get the best airflow. You can lower it though if you like, but I recommend the 5. This one's just like the bathrooms, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, and then it shuts off, okay? So again, if someone's showering, you can just turn it on here. Real simple, real easy. We do recommend 40 or 60 minutes for a shower just because it gets enough time to take that humidity out of the bathroom. This is where it's a little different. This little settings button here, you can see these house icons, okay? Some have numbers, okay? Some don't. When there's no number, that means it's gonna be on 24/7, 365. When the arrows are in the home, that's recirculation mode. So what that means is the air, the dampers inside the unit close, and now it's just moving air inside the house. You're not bringing in fresh air. So this is a setting we would recommend only using sparingly on certain days of the year, like smoky summer days or super cold winter days. You just don't want to bring that air into your house, okay? If you leave this on too long though, your house will become stale. You're not getting fresh air, right? So use it sparingly. The second one though, again, no time, so 24/7, it's gonna be on ventilation mode. So arrows in and out means ventilation. So this is a good setting if you wanna ventilate the house, freshen it up. Maybe you have a lot of people over having a party or you just gotta get the air moving. This is a good one, but again, it's gonna run all the time. It doesn't need to run all the time, so use it sparingly, but it will bring in the fresh air and move the air around in the home, okay? The next one though, it splits it between the two. So now 20 minutes on ventilation, 40 minutes on recirculation. This is the setting we recommend if you do want the unit to run 24/7. The reason for that is because 20 minutes of the hour is gonna bring in fresh air, okay? And then the rest of the hour is just gonna move around. Now, even though this unit's designed to preheat the cold air coming in, eventually it doesn't preheat it to the same house temperature, so eventually your house will cool down. So if you do run it on the other setting, the full ventilation setting 24/7, your house might eventually cool, which your furnace will have to turn on and it just uses energy. So this is a good one because you're not always bringing in that cold air, you're just moving it around for the rest of the hour. Then this is the one we recommend, the 20 minutes on ventilation, 40 minutes off. So when there's no arrows, it means off. So it just means 20 minutes every hour, the HRV will turn on, ventilate the home, and then the rest of the hour it'll be off. It is a good system to have on that schedule because you do want the air moving in the house. And then the next one is 10 and 50. So same thing, 10 minutes, it'll ventilate, 50 minutes off. So we recommend either of those, and then it just goes back to the start.
Out of 1 hour, so 10 minutes.
Yeah,
okay,
so I'll leave it on the 20 and 40 for now, but you can mess around with that if you need.
Sure.
This button here helps with humidity. Now, we were chatting, part of your warranty that's not covered is humidity problems. So in the home, if your humidity is way too high or way too low, it's not covered under warranty if it causes issues. And the big one in the wintertime people notice is condensation and ice on the windows. That's caused generally by high humidity in the home, cold temperature outside. So generally, as a rule of thumb, the colder it is outside, the less humidity you want in your home. So what I mean by that is if it's minus 25, 30 outside, you want around 20% or even a little bit less. You don't want it too dry, but you don't want 30, 40, 50% because then you'll get a lot of condensation and ice on that window. One of the ways to help lower humidity is ventilation. Ventilation is a natural way to help lower humidity. So that's what this comes into play. So what it does is, this is what the humidity is right now, 28%, which is fairly normal for this time of year, a bit low, but ideally in a new home, you want 30 to 45%. That's the ideal range. However, the outside temperature is gonna dictate that a little bit. So really humid summer day, it's gonna be higher. Really dry winter day, it's gonna be lower. But this is what it is right now. And what you're setting is this little number back here. And it's a benchmark. So it goes up to 60, down to 25. So whatever number I set this at, so if I set this at 35, as soon as the humidity goes above 35, the HRV will automatically turn on to help try to lower it by moving the air around, okay? So if you're getting condensation on your windows, you wanna either lower this down or just run this on the full ventilation setting. And if you have any drapes or curtains, move them away from the windows because you gotta get that air. Air is what's gonna help with that, okay? Now, so this, you just have to change throughout the year because as the seasons change, just kind of said, this summertime is gonna be more humid, winter's gonna be drier. So in the wintertime, I would leave this around 35, even 30 is fine, okay? But on those cold days, you might wanna lower it to 25. In the summertime though, I would raise this up to 50, even 45 to 55. The reason is because outside if the humidity's 40, 50% and you have this set to 30, your HRV is just gonna constantly be running and it won't win the battle with the outside air, okay? So in the summertime, I'd raise this to 45 or 50, and then in the wintertime, I would lower this back down to 25 or 30, okay? Right now, I'll just leave it at 30, but that's what that's there for. There's a little notepad here too for all the buttons. There's also good YouTube videos on this stuff as well if you want, if you don't like my video. It's also that. Thermostat. So these are independent, so this is separate. This is HRV, only controls that. This controls the heat and humidity. So on here, the main thing, that's the temperature right now, 25. It's a bit high just because of the sun coming in from the windows. But if you want to manually adjust it, just click on it. It goes up, goes down. This is an Ecobee smart thermostat, okay? What I mean by smart, it means it connects to your phone, connects to Wi-Fi, it connects to Amazon Alexa if you have that voice command system. So you can set it all up. The manual is above the fridge in the box, okay? You can set that all up through there. But that's how you change the temperature, just manually click on the screen. In this little settings button down here, you go to system. This is where you would change a few things. So HVAC mode, this is where you change to cooler auto if you ever get air conditioning one day. Right now you just got heat, so don't worry about the other two. That's not gonna do anything for you. But AC one day you can change. Also here's the humidifier. So this is where you would add humidity. Okay, so this adds it. This helps try to lower it and regulate it. So you don't want these two competing with each other. So if you set this to 30, don't set this to 36, because now you're gonna try to raise it, you're gonna try to lower it, raise, lower, and you're gonna be in this loop. So if you set this to 30, set this down to 28 or 26, okay? So if you're gonna raise this, you wanna raise that as well. You always want this one a bit higher, okay? Just so they're not in compete. So you'll use this more in the fall, winter. The summer, you probably won't use the humidifier that often, but you just set it for whatever your desired temperature is, okay? Also in here, you can set reminders, alerts, schedule, 3 times a day, every day of the week, set the schedule for the thermostats, so it automatically changes temperatures. So you can go through all that with the manual. And yeah, it connects to Wi-Fi, I'll tell you the weather, all that stuff. So use the manual, set it up, go through it. It's really user-friendly.
What temperature would you recommend, Rob, in the winter time here?
Honestly, that's a comfort thing. Anywhere from 20, 21, that's room temperature. Some people like cooler, some people like it hotter. Most people will set it low at night, and when they're at work, and then when they're home, they'll raise it up. That's why it's programmable, so you can get some energy savings. So when you're not at home, it's not heating the house for no reason. So that's what I would set those. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.